Chicago Food Inspections Project, Wilberto Morales.
Hello. All right, thank you, guys. So today it's not. Okay. We're gonna be talking about the Chicago Food Inspections Act. You might wonder, what does this has to do with open source software? Well, as it turns out, lately there's been a lot of data out there being publicly available for the people, and a lot of people don't know what to do with this kind of data. And especially here in Chicago, I don't know how long it's been happening, but ever since I started programming, the city of Chicago has an open data portal, and they provide data about all the different sections of the government, and they make it available for everybody. So I would like to show you guys what this data looks like right now. Okay. So this is a city data portal. If it ever finishes loading, we might be able to see the data. Let's see, okay. So this is the kind of data that's been given to the people, to the public. As you can see, so it's not the most elegant. They do have a better looking version, but this is the first one I always find. So we're having single rows of data, and if you're not a journalist or if you're not a scientific person, you might not know what to do with this kind of data, because it's not what you're exactly looking for. Say that you want to know what are the restaurants in your neighborhood like. There's not even almost like a search button that you could press, so you wouldn't be able to tell what's going on in your neighborhood and stuff like that. So we're gonna look at a better way the data might look like. Okay. So this might look a little bit more confusing, but this is a JSON format. It's a subset of a programming language, and it uses key value pairs to save the data. So over here we have license and the restaurant's license, and we have the violations and all the different violations the restaurant committed, their name. So what we did at OI, we wrote a computer program that takes this data and it parses it. So it cleans out it cleans out whatever it needs to take out, and it stores in a database the values that we're looking for. If you might notice something, imagine a real restaurant in the city of Chicago. It might get inspected multiple times throughout the years. But in this data, it doesn't know, it's a single record, and it doesn't know about the other times that it's been inspected previously. So what we did, we used SQL, and we created a relational database, and we're using their name and address to try to cluster together all the records. So this is going to be the website that we were able to come up with. So after storing the data and after parsing the data, we were able to start doing some geographical analysis with it. If you saw the little pop-up over here, you might see it over here. If you're using Chrome, you might see it over here. It's when websites want to get your geolocation, the place where you're currently located. Different websites, different devices will have different ways to do it. Let's see if this one has a way to do it. All right, so for some reason we're not getting a geolocation, but usually if you have a mobile phone or if you have a laptop, they have built-in GPS devices, and we're able to use those interfaces to plot where you're located in this map, and we're able to show you the restaurants around you. After you look at these restaurants, you can see how they've done throughout time. So let's see. So this is one of my favorite restaurants. It's La Bruquena. It's a restaurant located in my neighborhood in Humboldt Park. It's right across the street from my school. Something that you might not know about the Chicago food inspections is that they don't just inspect the restaurants, they inspect the schools, the churches, any single place that might provide food to the public. So it just so happens that this specific restaurant caters to my high school. We can see that it's done okay so far. There's some places where you see that there's some more violations. Let's see. So these are the other places that have made this violation throughout the last year. Let's start clicking through some. So there we go. I would like to look at my high school right now. Oh no, that's not it. So I go to a Puerto Rican high school, and it has a real Puerto Rican name. So they, of course, misspelled it in the database, and that's one of the problems. That's one of the problems with the data is that when you're trying to cluster data together, they might spell McDonald's, or they might spell MC Donald's, or they might spell it without the S at the end. So when you're trying to bring the data together, you're gonna have different records that look like they're different places when they're really the same place. So you gotta parse that data, try to figure out what's going on. Let's see. So this is my high school. So that's the high school I go to. Let's start looking through. Ain't that prideful? So. So these are the comments on the violations that they have done. Let's see. Yeah, so I can't really. I'm just scanning through them, but as you can see, obviously the inspectors, the food inspectors went out of their way to document what was going on in this place, especially after being a high school. Another high school I always like to look at is Clemente, Roberto Clemente in Humboldt Park. It's about 2 blocks away from my school. Let's see if they spelled that one right. Okay, so Clemente Com HS, that would be 1147 North Forsen. So that is the high school. As we could see, so they're not doing so great either. They have their ups, they have their downs. So I guess what I'm trying to show you is that this data is out there available, but people don't have a way to access it. And what a lot of hackers like me do is we try to grab this data and put it in a format where other people could see it. Now, you might be wondering, okay, this is just another website, just like any other. Why is this FOSS software? Well, the reason is that it's completely open source. And what that means is that anybody out there who knows a little bit of HTML or some source code could actually go to the GitHub page So anybody out there could literally go to the GitHub page, download our project, and edit anything out of it. So you could add stuff to it, you could remove stuff from it. So usually when we think about software, we think about apps that we could download for our computers and stuff like that. But in reality, websites are also apps that have a lot of software running in the back end and stuff like that. So for this one, for example, we're gonna go ahead and download this project. And we're gonna use git clone. The person before me, she mentioned it. Git is like Google Docs for programmers. Let me see. Okay, so it's currently cloning, like the project is downloading the whole website that you saw. It's downloading all the source code and placing it in this computer. I'm installing 36, 47, 65. All right. So we're gonna go over there.
No, okay, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Clarify for me. You are taking the information from the website and reformatting it so that we can truly understand what it means and make decisions based off the information instead of just looking at numbers and being like, stuff is useless.
Right. So instead of having to look at So instead of having to look to that table, what we're doing is we're grabbing the data and we're trying to make it cleaner and then displaying it for the other people. And I could show you guys later too. But we're also offering the raw data. So you could also grab our data and clean it and make it better however you want to do it. So
now here's the key question, right? I understood that part. But are they simply, are you guys simply taking the data from them and then repeating it, or when they update the data, you update the data, or what's the kind between?
Websites are divided technically into the two different sides. There's the client side, that's the programming that happens when people visit the website. And then there's the server side. That's what happens behind the scenes in a foreign computer that you have, so where your website lives, there's stuff happening behind it, and then there's stuff happening when you visit it. And what our website does is every single Friday, there's an automatic schedule that every single Friday, it will scrape the data again. So every new record that's added to the database, we're retaking them and updating our database. So, and you're about to see this. So I just cloned the repository and I'm running the app. I'm running exactly the same thing that is running on the website. I'm running it locally. And you'll see real quick that we already broke it. All right. So let's see. So it's already broken. The reason is that exactly that. We're running the program that runs the website, but we haven't run the program that collects the data. So we're gonna go ahead and collect the data real quick. So right there, we created the database. And now we're running the scraper. The scraper is the program that goes into the internet and it takes the database and moves it over to our side. Let's see. Should be done real quick. Come on, start.
What license do you use?
We use MIT. So right now we're committing the different changes into our database. And so all these changes are getting pushed to the database. These are the different restaurants. So now if we go over to our local version, let's see. I'm not sure how asynchronous it is because we're using SQLite for the local version, but we use MySQL for the deployment version.
Wilberto, everyone. Wilberto will be sticking around for